Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. We've got a special on Sports Extra. As you know, we're discussing multiple sports in Pakistan. We get to be probably one of the only shows that's covering major sports in Pakistan, not just one particular sports. And I thought it was a good time now to discuss something that has a lot of talent in Pakistan, and there is a lot of hard work being done on grassroots levels. But how to harness that potential is something that all of us need to combine our efforts for. So we will be discussing all about that, and the game which I'm particularly talking about is volleyball in Pakistan. And after that, we'll go to the second segment, and then we'll focus a bit on cricket as well. So first of all, discussing the Pakistan volleyball setup and the scenario right now, and also the preparations of the team, because like I said, that there is a lot of talent, but how to harness it and bring it at par with the kind of volleyball that is being played on the international level is something that we need to really work upon. Because obviously in major sports what happens is that the gap between the sports we're playing and international teams are playing is so much that once we get to participate in international competitions, we don't get the desired result. So I think hard work, training, everything is going to be there, but the right kind of approach is something that we will be talking about tonight in the show as well. So I'm very honored to be joined by certain gentlemen who are part and parcel of the task of getting volleyball at par with the international level, and obviously the training and everything. First of all, I'm very honored to be joined by a coach who's coming all the way from Brazil, and he's putting his efforts in Pakistan, Isanaya Ramirez. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Alaikum salam.
Great
I'm fine.
to have you.
Thank you.
Great to have you. I love the colors on you. I absolutely adore this. So it's great to have you on the show. We've also been joined by Mr. Saeed Ahmed Khan, who is also representing Pakistan when it comes to being a coach for the volleyball team. Assalamu alaikum, Saeed Saab. How are you,
Walaikum
sir?
salam. Thank you very much.
Now, Isanai, like I said, that obviously, international exposure goes a long way when you talk about teams participating. But you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not pointing it in the right direction, then things become a bit difficult. So far, how have you seen that talent, and what is being done right now to harness that potential for volleyball in Pakistan?
Special moment in the federation that they are working very hard to put us near as possible to the high level, as you said previously about how can be close to the high level teams. So now we are in good way. We are working so hard to get that way and put the talents we have in this high level in international volleyball.
Certainly. I think the right direction, and we will be exploring all of these avenues today as well, because we also need to create a lot of awareness when it comes to volleyball. Saeed Saab, when we talk about the setup in Pakistan right now, as Isan I also mentioned that we're trying to harness that potential. How would you highlight Pakistan's volleyball setup and the work that is being done right now on the grassroots level?
Yes, absolutely. Your question about that. And our Pakistan Volleyball Federation's chairman did very good efforts all over the Pakistan. We try out all the youngest under 18 and under 20 like this. And we get these training camps in the Islamabad. We are to find some good way in future in the supervision of the head coach of Brazilian SNI, and we have also local coaches in. We are trying to best to develop the Pakistan volleyball level in the high level profile.
Saeed Saab, how important is it to work on grassroots levels? Because obviously we have got a lot of talent there, but unfortunately, getting those young kids from either their school backgrounds or any other humble backgrounds in Pakistan and bringing them to a setup is very difficult because of dynamics in our country and the culture that is there.
Yes.
So how important is it to get that talent?
Yes, this is very difficult to check the grassroots level in schools, university as well as schools and colleges. But our federations are trying to best to resolve this issue, and many coaching courses to held all over the Pakistan, and to send the coaches to the universities, college, and as well schools to try out. They put the guys to research to search the guys to come out and to make some training camps like this. We are trying to best. Inshallah, hopefully in future we will get the good results.
Isanai, when we talk about this young talent that I'm talking about, Pakistan is lucky enough to, I can vouch for this, seeing many sports in Pakistan, that volleyball is still played in majority schools, colleges and universities. So, there exists some kind of raw talent. How important is it to keep an eye on them as well so they can progress on to the elite level?
Yes, it's very important to keep the eyes on them, and we are doing that. Last month we did a big tryout here. We check around 3,000 players around Pakistan.
That's a big number.
Yes, yes.
So you had a tough job.
and sure we have more.
Yeah.
Sure. And now we have around 42 players working the PSB here in Islamabad. We are developing them to be good players in national team and also for the country. But most important than that is have a good process to develop the players here. So Mr. Yakub now, our president, he's really work on it, and it's very important not only keep them in the national team, but it's very important also we have tournaments for under 18, under 20, and also have a big process to develop the players continuously. So it's not, we have to take advantage because we have good moment in volleyball now, but we have to keep the players working for long years. You know, it's not easy and simple make new players. We have to be patient, we have to trust them, we have to have hard work, but we have to do that around 4, 5, 6 years, which with each category here. And sure, after a long time, we can have strong national team with standard technical situations.
So the most important point is that people need to understand that it is a long process.
Yes,
if you try to take shortcuts right now, it won't work.
No way.
Yes.
Because here in Pakistan, it's the first time, for example, that we are working with one physical trainer in volleyball. So volleyball is a strength sport. If you don't have power enough, only the natural genetic we have here, we have a lot of jumpers here, but it's not enough to compete against the high-level teams. For example, now we lost by Qatar in the Asia Games. We got amazing result in my view, but we can do more. But how to do more? That's the question. And we have to invest in the process. The process is very important.
Certainly. I think Isanai mentions a very important thing. And Saeed Saab, in Pakistan, unfortunately, you know, we try to believe that results will come overnight. But that will never be the case. If you want to have a solid base for sports, you need a long-term process. What would you like to highlight for the people who want results but need to understand that it will be a long process before we can get to that level?
Yes, before there have no any high level management of like this. Today now with the head coach of Brazil, and we have hired from Brazil physical trainer and physio as the team. Now the team is completed. Now we are going to step by step to gradually we up inshallah, and in future hopefully under the supervision of the SRI head coach of Pakistan teams doing very well plan and each and everything like skills, technical, tacticals and physical endurance, like all things. We are working all that, and inshallah hopefully in future, not upcoming, but take to some time to reach the high level.
But Saeed Saab, this physical or endurance and strength training part of it, we tend to lag behind because of certain elements, you know, and then it comes down to training routines, the diet that we're having, especially in Pakistan. That is something that is hard to manage. You are involved in sports, you've been a sportsman yourself as well. How important is it for these youngsters to understand that the balance between a good diet and strength is very important?
Yes, very important, because the physical endurance as well and diet plan is very important for the sports. And now our physical trainers have very good capacity to train the guys, especially young guys are trained, and they have to improve their physical conditions and enhance the physical capacity to the physical condition as well. So no, as well diet is very important. Before there we facing some difficulties to our diets, like now we are federations manage the good diet plans like this and give the extra foods to players, and we are doing that. Inshallah we will hopefully in future we will get this.
Isanai, working with the team, what's the biggest hurdle that you've seen that you know, like you mentioned, strength is an integral part, training and everything, but which is the biggest hurdle that you see that needs to be immediately worked upon?
Okay. It's very important we know that the senior team, the main team we have, we are very young. You know, most of them around 23, 25 years old, and they have good skills, they understand the game. But now we need a little bit more international experience. For example, against Qatar, we lost because we missed some small and easy actions. That international experience can give that power to the players when we face again this kind of games. Because we really beat some tough teams, but to reach the top levels, to play against Iran, Japan, Korea. Korea we beat. Iran, Japan, China, and Qatar, we need to have a little bit more international experience. So our plan in the future is take the team to Europe to play against some international
Quality
national
sides,
teams.
yes.
Yes.
But that's an
For a
important
lot-
point, yes.
Little bit more experience.
Yes, because even if I can just compare it with Qatar, I mean,
Yes.
all of our team combined would have played a handful of international matches, but an
Yes.
individual from Qatar would have himself played about 40, 50 games each player.
Yes.
So that makes a difference.
What's important we know? For example, Qatar are investing in volleyball more than 10 years, same
Yes.
process. They are playing international matches in World Championship. They participate in the last chance to be inside the VNL is the most important competition in the volleyball by FIVB. So they are experienced teams. So many players playing amazing leagues and strong leagues. Here in Pakistan, our federation start working to have our own league also, because it's very important we develop not only the players, but also our internal volleyball. So we are in good way. The plans are going, and we have to take advantage of that moment in volleyball. I saw now how much the Pakistan people loves volleyball. It's like after cricket, I think it's the second sport here in Pakistan. So we have to take advantage of that moment and try get a little bit more sponsors that can support us to keep the plans going.
Well, I can honestly vouch for this, that you can go around any street, any locality in Pakistan, and in the evening time or the afternoon, you'll see people playing volleyball.
Yes.
So that is right when you mentioned that it is a very popular sport. But obviously, people don't know how to convert their abilities to the professional level. So I think one thing more that we need to invest on is how can we convert from amateur players to professional players in the world.
Yes, here in Pakistan we have so many clubs. 2 months ago, I think we had the national tournament in Quetta.
Yes.
So there's how the people develop themselves to be volleyball player, and the federation also has good program to do that. It's first of all, you have to play in your street, in your province, and after look for who is playing
enough,
abroad, playing outside, and try go, because really, Pakistan, you have a lot of potential to play volleyball.
But you're working with this team now for quite some time now. So you've also, I think, understood that the right way forward in Pakistan is to have a public-private model, and that's why you need sponsorship in this game as well.
Yes, volleyball has big potential here in Pakistan. If you have good sponsor, we can increase our process. You know, our facilities have international camps, like the high-level teams do. See how long Japan, China, Iran, and Qatar are working. So any season, they go outside to play against high-level national teams. We don't have this possibility now. We used to practice here, go a few days before the tournament, play some friendly match, but we check our team really inside the tournament.
Yes. On the spot, yes.
Yes. So we now it's good moment because the effect that result in Asian Games made, it's amazing. For example, we have now 7 players from our national team playing abroad in strong leagues. This is very good for us. So if we got more power, more sponsors to supporting us, we can do more. Sure,
Absolutely.
we can. As you told me, it's not day by night, tonight.
It's a long process.
Long process, but if we have good sponsors, we can increase our process quickly.
Fast track it a bit, yes. So, it'll be on the right. Because I always believe, and I think we've stressed this fact that just saying this on multiple platforms, that the government, the federation, it's not the right way forward. Throughout the world, we see a public-private partnership model, and there are commercial entities in Pakistan, corporate sector, who realize that they have got a responsibility towards the country as well. And if they're investing in particular sports, I think that is the right way forward. So, Saeed Saab, it's very important that we get to attract sponsors and corporate entities who can go a long way in at least developing infrastructure in Pakistan?
Yes. This is a very important for to develop the volleyball in all over the countries, because without the sponsor there cannot be achieved anything, because first we have no sponsors, there no anyone. Before our president tried to best to get some own resources to some arrange some national competitions, but now Angro is our main sponsor, and he support us in the national, international as well as competition. And inshallah, in next years we have planned to the 4-nation international competition in Pakistan, and totally Angro support that. And now our president and our others colleague of the federations are looking forward to search the sponsors as well, beside the Angro and others who like this. Cricket have so many that
is a dominating sport. That is the only dominating sport in
because
Pakistan.
you know, as I told before you that after cricket, volleyball is very famous in Pakistan. Our try is that this is the village level games. Now we need to come to the in city levels like this, because this is the native and village levels games. Now this is very famous and in the all over the world. And as compared to Pakistan, they come into the city also.
Absolutely.
Because if the social media, print media and others, we develop this, so we can, why not we can achieve the any goal and any objective.
You know, I can give you guys one reason why it's been so popular, because all you needed was one person to actually get a net, a ball, and have 30-40 guys together playing, and it would be a sort of a festival every afternoon and every evening. You know, right after you reach 3-4 p.m. people would be coming out and playing in large numbers in summers, and obviously in winters at sunset, before 5 p.m. they would definitely be there. So that's why it's popular. But Isanaya, final question to you would be any message you have to the young volleyball players who are watching this program and who would want to one day play for Pakistan?
Okay, before I give the message to
please.
youngers, I'd like to thank my players.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they were amazing. They defend the Pakistan flag with big honor in their
Responsibility,
hearts
yes.
and big responsibility.
Good students for you.
Yes, no, but they are amazing, really, really. We cannot do nothing without them. All right. For the youngers, join us, enjoy, because the first thing is enjoy. After the games become really important, and you can be professional player here, really, really. You youngers, we have so many big potential to do that, and they can change their lives by volleyball. Our players, most of them belongs from villages, and so many of them now are changing their lives by volleyball. So it's a big opportunity. Who wants can find us and work hard. We are here to support.
Absolutely. Isanaya Ramirez, thank you very much for joining us. Chaudhry Akram Saab, thank you very much. And Saeed Saab, thank you very much to you as well for joining us. You've heard it from the people involved in volleyball. I think the fact is that not only yourself, you can probably change the livelihood of your entire area, your families, your extended families through sports. But one thing is for sure, that in the face of Isanaya Ramirez, you've got a very captain cool coach. So you can always join in, because you know, if your coach is talking about having fun and then thinking about technicalities, that means that he's a great coach and he's not giving you a tough time. So you can all join in. If you younger lot want to join in, you can always get in touch with the Islamabad Volleyball Association, with the Pakistan Volleyball Federation extendedly, and you can join these fantastic bunch of guys who are not just promoting volleyball in Pakistan, but I think doing all their best to carry the national flag of Pakistan on the international level. So I think to all of you gentlemen, the nation thanks you. Pakistan will always be indebted, and thank you very much for keeping the national flag high. Well, of course, on that note, we'll go towards a short break, but when we come back, we have more on Sports Extra. Stay tuned.
आपकी सुनहरी यादों के खजाने जो पीटीवी ने अमानत की तरह संभाल कर रखे हुए थे, आ गए हैं आपके सामने, ताकि इन सबको आप जब चाहें अपने प्यारों के साथ फिर से जी सके। पीटीवी फ्लिक्स, एक ऐप जहां मिले पीटीवी पर चलने वाला आज तक का हर प्रोग्राम, कई दिलचस्प कैटेगरीज में। पीटीवी फ्लिक्स, डाउनलोड नाउ। Relive the golden era of PTV.
Welcome back to Sports Extra, and you can never have Sports Extra, can you, if you don't have Ali Mehdi with you in studios, and he finally joins us. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum Salam, I'm very well.
Great to have you on the show. Now, of course, we're going to be talking about cricket, but the talk of the town is the Pakistan Super League and everything that is going on. We've got a report on that as well. Let's just take a look at that and then we'll come back. But you know, eventually when I talk about the PSL, me and Ali were having this discussion as well. There have been so many rumors going around, but you know, considering the players draft on the 13th, things are going to settle down. But Ali Mehdi, right now, obviously people are going to be picking their franchises, looking at the rosters as well. A lot of international players have signed in and a lot of them new to PSL. So that's one positive sign that we can see.
I think this is a great initiative, the PSL. You have new players coming in, players who have recently retired. I mean, talking about having this Quentin de Kock, that's a massive boost for the PSL, to having so many international players. Normally, you know, people used to say that, you know, people all around the world, critics used to say that the PSL only attracts players who've recently retired or towards the end of retirement, or youngsters for that matter. But now you have seasoned campaigners coming in. So this is fantastic. And the fact that we're having these trades before the beginning of the, before the draft, it shows that, you know, the PSL really, it's making everybody very happy.
Well, a lot of these sides have been making headlines, particularly Islamabad, Multan and Quetta and of course Karachi. Reason is that Ahmad's gone to Islamabad, Hassan Ali's coming to Karachi. And then of course on the other side we've got Tifti Mania, of course, Iftikhar Ahmed going to Multan Sultans and Riley Rousseau going back to Quetta, which I thought the way Riley was informed, but I think they won't mind Iftikhar coming to their side. Adds a lot of diversity. So these two particularly, these two trades, and then we'll talk about a couple of more.
I think the big one has to be the first one, Imad Wasim leaving Karachi Kings after 8 splendid years. Let's not forget in season 5 he actually led the Karachi Kings to their first win, and ever since then they haven't been performing well at all. It just shows that, you know, when you have good captaincy skills, you can do wonders. And then Imad Wasim, you know, we saw last year he was the only shining light for Karachi Kings. So I actually find it a bit of a surprise that Karachi Kings management actually sent him to Islamabad United. And then Hassan Ali, obviously he's on his day, he's one of the best players too. But I think if you're talking about the deal, Islamabad United have obviously got the better of the deal too. And on the other side, if you talk about the other one, I think Riley Rousseau is a massive coup for Quetta Gladiators. They needed something in the batting too. I think it's very important they also get some bowlers in, because Naseem Shah, we've heard that Naseem Shah has decided to part ways with Quetta Gladiators.
Yeah, so he's rumored to be coming to Multan Sultan. So far.
So if that's the case, then they really have to work on that bowling department for the Quetta Gladiators. But getting Ifti Mania for Multan Sultans is a huge coup.
About Naseem Shah Ali Mehdi, I saw a couple of videos of his rehab as well. He was bowling for the first time
Yeah.
after the sling. That was good to see the in-swinger was back. But, you know, I think more than the PSL, Pakistan is relying on him for that T20 World Cup that is coming as well. So that's why the importance of Naseem Shah in the PSL is going to be watched by billions of fans around the world.
That's why actually all Pakistani fans, if there's any social media account they're following the most, it has to be this Naseem Shah. Reason being is Naseem Shah was actually the shining light over the past 1 year. He's been brilliant in Test cricket, T20 cricket, and then also in 50 over. He barely played any 50 over cricket because he got injured before the 50 over World Cup too. So I mean, he's that one shining light. We are seeing him progressing well. He's actually in rehab in the UK right now, and he's progressing very well. I think it's a very good sign that he's doing very well. But then at the same time, I think it will have to see which which club he goes to and then how he performs in the PSL. But I think the main goal is to get him 100% fit and firing on all cylinders for the upcoming T20 World Cup in the West Indies and the USA.
Talk about that World Cup. We will be having that discussion as well. But Uganda's qualified, so something new is happening in the world of cricket.
Wow, Uganda. This is the first time that Uganda has actually qualified for a big ICC event. They used to be part, Ahmed, of East Africa way back in 1975 and 1979. You know, East Africa was a different, you could say, cluster of nations who actually took place under the East Africa flag, and they actually competed in the 75 and 79 World Cup. But I think it's a breath of fresh air that they've actually qualified. And for Zimbabwe not to qualify, this is a big blow for their cricketing aspirations.
Well, I'm going to be talking about all the teams that have qualified. I'm just going to have that, but we'll, take it towards the end. But before that, sticking to the PSL and discussing everything, we've still not discussed a couple of franchises that are pretty quiet right now, Ali Mehdi. And I always say that it's the calm before the storm, especially if I talk about the crowd favorite, the defending champions, Lahore Qalandars. They eventually pull out one of the best star players around the world. And if rumors are correct that Maxwell or De Kock or anybody like that wants to make it to the PSL, then probably I think Lahore might be a home base.
I think Lahore will be a home base, and if you look for the past few years, ever since the inception of the PSL, they always get that, you could say, that maverick sort of a pick. And you talk about a couple of years ago, Brendan McCullum used to be there, A.B. de Villiers came a few years ago, then you've had Chris Lynn in the past too, so and then Rashid Khan, who's an integral part of that squad. So I actually feel that they might be quiet, but they probably are strategizing which areas do they need to further strengthen. And obviously, look, they're keeping quiet right now because on the backside they know that if there's anybody who can do it, they want to do that three-peat. So for that, they really need to find the areas they need to work on.
Well, then again, of course, you've got to talk about Peshawar Zalmi as well. If you talk about them, they're under Babar Azam as a skipper. If they probably go with the same momentum, and they are eager to win, and there are also talks of them wanting home games at the Arbab Niaz Stadium in Peshawar as well. So if they get that possible, obviously Peshawar's home crowd is going to make a big difference to the team's morale.
Look, the one thing, Ahmed, I'm very pleased you actually mentioned that, because this is a very, very, I think, important topic for me, and that is the Arbab Niaz Stadium. For a while we've wanted new stadiums. We always are very happy, and ever since this has gotten renovation works have actually they've actually decided to upgrade the facilities over there. The one thing the PSL missing is having a home crowd, a home, what you call, stadium for Peshawar Zalmi. They really need it badly. I mean, they packed the rafters to the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium, even Lahore Stadium, Multan.
Yeah, Islamabad got Pindi, Lahore got their own, Karachi got their own. So, they all of these three teams had their own home. So, even Multan, like you mentioned, which is your favorite stadium. So, these teams got, I think the only one that was left was Quetta and
Quetta. And Quetta, I think, has a couple of years before, security clearances, and they upgrade Bukti
But they
Stadium.
still had a, you remember that side game,
side
exhibition match as well.
But I don't see, realistically, I don't see any real matches happening in the PSL over there, in the upcoming future, maybe in a couple of years. But they've got to get Arbab Niaz Stadium ready, Ahmed, and the reason is that it's not only the PSL, but I'm hopeful, and I believe everybody in the country is hopeful, that we can get Arbab Niaz Stadium ready for the Champions Trophy, which is in 1 year's time.
But Ali Mehdi, this is something that all of us need to digress upon. I think we'll have a complete show one way or the other, where we want to follow so many models. There's so much talk about improving Pakistan cricket, but I am a bit disappointed that whoever is there at the helm of affairs seldom talks about improving infrastructure in Pakistan. If we just look at India, and I understand that they might not be the right model that people would want to accept, but the fact is that you look at the diversity of their stadiums.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That tells us something. And I understand that right now getting the economic resources to build a new stadium are very difficult considering Pakistan's trajectory, because we're improving economy gradually, alhamdulillah. But the fact is that we've got existing facilities with the help of corporate partnership or public-private partnership models, sponsorships. We can improve them. I mean, there already exists a stadium in Sialkot, Faisalabad, Bahawalpur,
Hyderabad used to have one.
Hyderabad. There are facilities that can be improved to an extent.
I think the one area where PCB has really lacked and has really not had foresight is actually to improve the facilities of the current stadiums. You were just talking about these stadiums, Sialkot, Hyderabad, you're talking about Faisalabad, Iqbal Stadium in Faisalabad. All they used to have international matches too, so they should have improved facilities, undergone renovation work, and they should have had floodlights over it. It's unfortunate that hasn't happened too. But look, at least we're in the step of in the right direction. Our Bab Niaz Stadium will be ready very soon too, and I really do hope. And the people of KPK and KPK do deserve to have their home stadium, and Peshawar Zalmi really are going to make that stadium alive.
I mean, we can increase the number of teams. But even for Pindi fans and Islamabad fans, because twin cities get one particular stadium, I think just a capacity of 18,000 is disappointing. I see a lot of fans outside. I see a lot of fans in both these cities who are eager to watch a game in Pindi Stadium, but unfortunately it doesn't have the capacity.
I think it's a joke. I'm sorry, it's a joke. I mean, only having 18,000, if you can't renovate that, if you can't upgrade facilities, if you can't increase the stadium capacity, build a new one. And that's what they said. They said they're going to build one in Islamabad. Who knows whether that's going to happen or not. But the people of Islamabad, Rawalpindi and adjoining areas deserve a new stadium too. So that's why I'm very hopeful that the PCB will look into this, because Lahore, Karachi has their share, Multan has their share, Peshawar will have theirs, but the people of Islamabad, Rawalpindi, really deserve a bigger stadium and a bigger capacity stadium.
Well, I mean, at least get your stadiums to 50,000 capacity, the ones that exist in Lahore and Karachi, and then we can move forward to the fact as well. Because, everybody will be excited when PSL tickets go on sale. People are going to be calling Ali Mehdi if he's got some free tickets as well. I know that's going to happen. We're still yet to pick our PSL franchises, but I think another big question, Ali Mehdi, rumors have it that who's going to be Karachi's captain for this year, because Imad has left now. Mohammad Amir has also left, so I think that opens the door wide open. And there are rumors that Karachi are very eager and trying their best. They're knocking on the doors of Multan Sultans to get Shan Masood, but so far Mr. Ali Tareen and Multan are not agreeing. But like I said, rumors have it. I'm not confirming anything right now.
All these are rumors too, but we won't find out till a couple of weeks, until obviously the draft too. The draft is when we're actually going to find out that whether this Shan Masood is actually going to switch allegiance. And let's not forget, Shan Masood is actually based in Karachi too. His family is over there too, so he'll obviously want to play for his home city too. But he has a great affiliation with Multan Sultans. He's done very well for them. Past couple of seasons, he's formed an incredible partnership up top with Mohammad Rizwan, so I don't see that happening. But look, in the PSL, anything is possible too. At the same time, if you're talking about captaincy, this dilemma of captaincy, I think the obvious choice would be Shoaib Malik, but knowing Karachi Kings, anything is possible. They could get Shan Masood, they could get somebody else, they could make somebody else captain, but I think as of this moment, the obvious choice to make Karachi Kings captain has to be Shoaib Malik.
But there is another conundrum looming over PCB, and that is whether the PSL is going to be in Pakistan or not, Ali Mehdi. And right now, sources have said, certain minds have put their head, who have said that having it anywhere outside Pakistan might not be the financial model that PCB would want.
Yeah, they would not want it, and it's a step in the wrong direction. Look, for so many years we all suffered. We couldn't see PSL. We couldn't see a complete PSL in Pakistan till I think this is season 4, just before COVID. It happened too, and then after that we remember what happened. So I actually think it would be a step in the wrong direction. I don't think it would be really good for the PCB model too. There's obviously lot of losses. You take that fans element out of the equation too. The hype which you've seen, Ahmed, in this country over the past 3-4 years when it comes to PSL, whether it's us, whether it's a production management, whether it's a head of sports over here, everybody in the country is so excited when it comes to the PSL. It's a different sort of excitement you see with that. So I really do hope that it will stay in the country. Obviously, there's a logistics which need to be taken care of, especially the political dilemma which you have, because elections are going to be happening around the same time too. But I think it'll be managed, and hopefully we can have obviously all the 4 stadiums. But I'm also very hopeful, Ahmed, that I don't know what's the latest, but really, if Irbab Niaz is still ready, they should have matches over there.
I know you want to combine Peshawar's good food
Yeah.
with cricket. I know you're eager for that. But, certain players that we can mention who have so far confirmed being part of the PSL. David Malan, James Vince is returning to the PSL, so that's going to be great.
Massive.
Hazratullah Zazai, Rasi van der Dusen from South Africa, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And then you've got Shakib Al Hassan, who have so far signed up for the PSL.
And I believe Quentin de Kock is obviously there too.
Yeah, he's also in talks,
So
right?
he's the big one. I think he's the big news for the PSL. Now that he's retired from international cricket, he's got nothing to lose. He can make money. He can, he's got a young family. He wants to take care of them too. So I actually think, and I do think that along the way he might do a Ben Stokes and decide that he wants to play one more tournament for his country, South Africa, and try to get gold in the form of the World T20, which will take place next year in the West Indies. But we'll have to see. But other than that, these new names, like you mentioned, Rasi van der Dusen, and it's good to have Shakib Al Hassan back because he is a veteran and he's really one of the best all-rounders we've ever seen.
Right, and because we're talking about the PSL, and Ali Mehdi has just given you a hint that the T20 World Cup is coming up. The USA and the West Indies get to host it. Let me just give you a clear picture of what teams are participating. 20 teams, Ali Mehdi. West Indies, Australia, England, India, New Zealand, Bangladesh, South Africa, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan. But on the other side, you've got the host USA. You've got the ever so talented and right now I think one of the best upcoming teams in Netherlands. The Ireland is also participating. The Irish are there. Scotland, Papua New Guinea, Canada, Nepal, Oman, Namibia, and the crowd favorite Uganda.
I think the best thing about this, Ahmed, is now you generally have a game which is actually this consists inclusive of all the countries all around the world, other than obviously South America. We have countries from all parts of the world, and 20 teams. This is going to be the biggest the showpiece ever when it comes to an international event in cricket. And I want to also tell you about the format. I think it's an exciting and amazing format the ICC has come up. There are going to be 20 teams. There are going to be 4 groups of 5, after which 2 of each will actually progress to the Super 8, and then the Super 8 will happen 2 groups of 4, and then from that 2 each will actually go to the semi-finals and the finals. So it's going to be a packed tournament. I think it's going to be a fantastic tournament, and it's actually very good for the ICC promoting this in the West Indies and the new market of
2 things I'm particularly excited for is to finally see West Indies back in an ICC tournament. It was a bummer that they weren't part of the World Cup and they couldn't qualify. But I think I'm even gutted for Zimbabwe not qualifying for another T20 tournament. That is something that I'm very disappointed on. But then again, another thing I'm excited for is the kind of quick pitches you're going to get in the USA.
I think it's going to be fantastic. You've got 3 stadiums over there which have decided are going to hold the World T20 as we know of right now. Obviously, New York is going to have one. Fort Lauderdale in Florida has hosted some matches. They are going to have them. And then a stadium in Dallas too. So, I mean, all the diaspora of Pakistan and obviously India and all countries all around the world, in the US, they're going to obviously enjoy that too. And in the West Indies is going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, this unfortunate news has come out today that Dominica is actually not going to host matches in this World T20. But then you have other islands like Jamaica over there, Barbados over there, St. Lucia, hopefully Guyana will also take. So I think it's going to be an incredible World Cup. And part of this diversity, it just shows that the cricket is a very inclusive game in the world.
Certainly. Ali Mehdi, thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you in studios. Well, that wraps it up. Of course, World T20 is something to eye for, but then again, you've got the PSL and the National T20 that is underway with the action live on PTV Sports. All players to pick from and a lot of talent on display as well with the top 8 teams that have qualified. That wraps it up for me and the entire team. It's goodbye for now.